Well, good morning, everybody. How are you this morning? Oh my goodness, we are going to study a really cool bird today. This is lessons 18. You know who I am. Granny Patty's going to read it all to you. We are going to learn about the yellow-bellied sapsucker. Wow, that's kind of three big words. The yellow-bellied sapsuckers are medium-sized woodpeckers. They are migratory birds and protected in Canada under the Migratory Birds Convention Act and in the United States under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. This means that you cannot hurt, take, sell, export the birds' nests or eggs without a valid permit. They are known as keystone species, which means that many other insects and birds and animals rely on them. They make homes for animals to live in, and their sap wells attract and feed other birds and insects. Understanding how different birds and animals work together gives us a picture into a branch of science called ecology. Ecology is the study of how organisms relate to one another and their surroundings. God didn't just make creative animals, birds, insects, and plants. He made an entire ecosystem where everything connects. Small, annoying insects feed birds, like the yellow-bellied sapsucker, which might make a home for an owl, which helps us by eating mice and rodents. This is why it is so important to protect endangered species, which is done through another act called the Endangered Species Act, because everything plays an important role in our ecosystem, and one small missing piece can have a huge impact. They're giving us an activity break. Look up pictures of the yellow-bellied sapsucker. Listen to the sound of their pecking or the call they make. You can even look at pictures of their eggs or babies. Now, what do they look like? I'm sure you're looking at a picture of them right now as I'm speaking, aren't you? These pretty little woodpeckers are about 8 inches long and about 1.5 to 2 ounces. That's about the weight of a golf ball. They have a bright red forehead and a black bib on their upper breast. They have black bills and white stripes above and below their eyes, as well as white stripes on their wings. Their chest is yellow, but it is easier to see in males than females, where it is more muted. Males have red under their chins, while females have white under their chins, which is an easy way to tell them apart. Their legs and feet are bluish gray, and their wingspan is about 13 to 16 inches. Their tail and back are spotted brown, which helps them blend in with the trees they stand on. So what's their diet? Unlike most woodpeckers, the yellow-bellied sapsucker is unique in that it actually bores into trees to create sap wells, not just to reach bugs inside. Their tongues are not straws that actually suck, but have a specialized brush-tipped tongue that scoops up the sap and insects at the same time. Though sap only makes up about 20% of their diet, it is an important part of their diet because it contains sugar, which gives them energy. At different times of the year, trees have different sugar content in different parts. Earlier in the year, the sapsucker will drill deeper holes into the tree's stem, the inner part of the trunk, to get at the sap that is feeding the leaves and branches because it has more nutritional value. Later in the year, they drill shallower, evenly spaced, rectangular holes into phloem, the part of the trunk that carries sap down from the leaves. The shallower holes need to be regularly drilled to get at the sap. Sapsuckers will tear at the bark of trees to find insects like ants and spiders to eat. They have been known to even dip insects into the sap before eating them. They will also eat fruit from trees in orchards, buds, and berries. Sometimes they will leap from a branch to catch an insect from midair. Sapsuckers often choose to drill into trees that are damaged and leaking sap from disease, wind, lighting, infection, insects, or fungus. They will also eat cambium, which is the layer between the xylem and the phloem of a tree. Now their habitat is the yellow-bellied sapsucker is found in nearly every province and territory in Canada and the state of Alaska during breeding season and migrates down south to the southeast United States and through Mexico, Central America, and the West Indies. Unlike many other migratory birds, they migrate at night. In their breeding grounds, they settle in mixed conifer forest with birch, aspen, hickory, and maple trees, which have higher sugar concentration. They often choose younger forests. In the winter, they make their homes in a variety of places such as orchards, palm groves, and deciduous forests. What's their life cycle? Well, males often go to the same breeding site each year about a week before females and begin establishing their territory. Males and females often pair together season after season, females coming to the same breeding site, nesting area she was in the year before. And sometimes they even use the same nesting cavity, though this is not common. If building a new site, males often choose the nest tree, often before the female even gets there. They seem to prefer quaking aspen trees that are infected with heartwood or fungus. It takes about 7 to 10 days to chisel out the cavity, and most of the work is done by the male. He can strike the wood with 100 to 300 times each minute and will work for about 17 minutes at a time. Females lay 3 to 7 eggs inside the cavity on the wood chips that are left behind. Both males and females incubate the eggs for about 12 to 13 days. Babies are born naked, and with their eyes closed and are completely reliant on their parents to care for them. Both parents brood and feed the young, sharing the responsibility. They find them insects and may coat them in sap before bringing them to the chicks. 25 to 29 days after hatching, the parents stop bringing food and call their young out to prompt them to fledge. Parents continue to care for and help feed and teach their young after fledgling for about 1 to 2 weeks. And young stay in their parents' territory for 6 to 8 weeks, sharing sap wells. They live for about 6 years in the wild. Here's another optional activity. Learn more about the anatomy of a tree and how tree sap works in the xylem and the phloem. All right, my little darlings, it's time for you to pull out your notebooks because Mommy's going to teach you some new things, I am sure. I hope you're having a fabulous morning. Granny Patty loves you, and we'll look forward to the next lesson soon. Bye-bye.